Shalom Akim. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Makakadash Barakatham. Dub honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Great Stone Ruel, and to the Akim Akweth throughout the four corners of the earth, holding on to the testimony of Mashiach Yahushai. Shalom, Shalom. This Brother Nasher, DC Church, short lesson again for the hopeful elect. Yeah, so the scripture always reminds us that it's the Most High's plan, all right? It's the Most High that set things in place for them to take place, all right? He's the director, all right? So there's no creature that could escape the will of the Lord, all right? The Lord has already made things happen according to his own plan. And that's the focus of this lesson, all right? Because a lot of people don't understand that the evils in the world are allowed to happen by the Lord. And the Lord does as he pleases, all right? So I'm going to read from 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. And I'm going to read verse 8 also. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work." All right? And that's worked. That's Babylon, you know, aka America, aka the revived modern Roman Empire, all right? So this Edomites are in rulership, you know, and their rulership has been a burden of misery and sadness and chaos to the whole world, all right? So the Roman Empire still in effect, you know, it's got a stranglehold on the minds of the people of the world, all right? So it says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work," and that's Esau's rulership, you know, the super elites, you know, dominating every corner of the world, okay? And then it says, "Only he who now letteth will let," and that's the Lord, you know, because it's the Lord that decides how things are supposed to pan out. You know, just when you read Job chapter 9, verse 24, you know, it's a easy precept to remember. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" All right. So the Lord has already made that clear, you know, that the wicked's going to be in rulership. And when you also look at the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2, it says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn." Okay? So people are just upset, man. If you're not yelling and screaming about the wickedness of this elite, you know, causing the price of goods and services to go up, they'll be yelling and screaming about them orchestrating plans to plunge their countries into war, you know, taking away their so-called freedom, all right? So it's always something going on, okay? And then it says, "Until he be taken out of the way." And that's what the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai has to do when the Lord gives him the green light, you know, upon his second return, all right, to make things happen, okay? So let me see if we get another precept It's gonna be. Let me, in fact, I read verse 8. All right, and then shall that wicked be revealed. All right, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. All right, so the testimony of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai is burning up the minds of these elites. That's why they're in a rush to push all these mandates and all this conflict upon the face of the earth. You know, they want war, they want carnage. Why? Because they're in a race to accomplish their agenda for so-called new world order. All right, they want to have that rulership extended forever, just like you read in Psalms chapter 49, verse 11. You know, their inward thought is that their legacy, you know, their life of prestige and esteem and high esteem, you know, will continue to our generation. All right. And this says, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So there is no other way out for Esau, man. But the Lord, you know, showing him the way out. You know, he cannot escape the plans of the Lord. So his final judgment is, you know, terrible consumption, you know, by the order of Hamashiach Yahushai. Okay, so another precept you want to look at will be from the book of Isaiah chapter 29, and then you look at verses 20. All right, and 21. It says, "For the terrible one is brought to naught." How is it brought to naught? Through the words and testimony, and you know what? The testimony of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua, the judgment of the Lord, you know, being executed upon the world. His rulership is about to take a serious nosedive. All right. So it says the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. Okay. And that's a judgment of 2/3, and the heathen that the Lord is about to bring a serious scourge upon. All right. And it's not going to be an easy sighting. You know, it's not going to be an easy sighting, you know, to see the fall of our enemies. It's going to be a terrible judgment, you know, from the Lord. All right. So you just gotta rejoice, man. You know, it's a bitter experience, but at the end of the day, you have to rejoice that the Lord is about to bring his rulership to the end. So it says, "For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off." All right. So the Lord's about to shut down, you know, the aspirations of Western civilization, and the Western civilization is the civilization of Edom. All right. So the Lord's about to pull Esau out of the power seat. All right. It's about to cast him out. Yeah. So I'm going to read Revelation chapter 20, verse 10. You know what? Yep. This is concerning the mystery of iniquity. All right. It says, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beasts and the false prophets are, and shall be tormented day and night forever. All right. So it's gonna be a crazy judgment, man. You know, the crazy judgment of Esau's power structure being cut off. All right. So you just gotta be glad that the Lord has decided a long time ago of how things are gonna unravel. So we shouldn't be overly concerned or how you say run around confused. It's the Lord's plan. All right. Then it says in verse 21 that make a man an offender for a word, okay, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. So all those that are in opposition to the gospel of the Lord Amashak Yahushai, that's their judgment. When you read that in verse 20, they're going to be cut off. 2/3 of our nation, that's here in America, two-thirds of the nation of Israel, all right? And wherever they are around the world, the Lord has to bring judgment upon them, you know. So, it's not going to be any big surprise, when the Lord is purging his floor, all right? And then he says, and turn aside the just for a tin of nut. So all that agenda of people subverting the gospel because they want to have trinkets, they want to have the luxury goodies from Esau. It's going to be short-lived. All these lavish lifestyles built upon an empire that's about to go up in flames. It's going to be a huge source of depression for 2/3. So those that made it in this world and the nonchalant towards the ministry of Amashak Awashai, they're gonna get their judgment, all right. And then this is what it says. All right, this is what it says. All right, and those that watch for iniquity are cut off. Yeah, so that's how the Lord rolls, man. The Lord is about to shake the kingdom of Edom, with great violence. Okay, so another precept to look towards is Revelation chapter 20, and then look at verse 10. All right, this is the judgment. All right, that you want to avoid at all costs. By having faith in the Lord Amashak Yahushua, you want to be exempted from the harsh judgment that the Lord is about to bring upon America, upon the whole world. So Revelation chapter 20 verse 10 says, and the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Yep, so you don't want to be jacked up, man, for being disobedient, for being a scoffer, for being an obstacle to the ministry of the Lord Amashak Yahushai. All right, so our people need to wake up and, fear the Lord. Fear the Lord. Philippians chapter 2 verse 12, walk out your own salvation with fear and trembling, all right? So the book of Job, chapter 5, verses 20 and 21. So when the Lord is bringing all this chaos upon the earth, always remember this, man. In verse 20 and verse 21, Job 5, verse 20, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. So death, as a means, by famine and people becoming a casualty of wars, that's a rough, factor, to take account of in someone's life. Famine and war, it's rough. So the Lord said He's going to keep His elect safe. In famine He shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. All right? So the war within and the war without, is going to be chaotic. So that's why you need a hedge, of the Lord around you to keep you stable, to keep you on your P's and Q's, not to let your mind slip into a carnal mindset, So you have to pray the Lord strengthens your resolve in these last days, all right? Then verse 21 says, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. And a lot of people that came against the gospel in those days, they will not be able to say much against you. In fact, anything against you, because when they see the hedge of the Lord working in your favor, that you're able to perform miracles, you're able to provide for your family, you're able to withstand the temptations and the chaotic environment, they're gonna, have their head down. They will not be able to attain the level of confidence that you have in that day. All right, because the Lord already made His promise. The Lord would not leave you helpless in those days. So all those folks that were talking trash, they will have to save their energy, to go, seek resources for their lives. All right. Neither shall thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. Yeah, so you're going to be rolling in courage in these last days. All right. So you would not be timid or acting like how you say acting like a faithless individual, or going according to your animal instincts. That's not what the Lord would direct towards His elect. The men of the Lord will have structure in those days. All that time you put in on the highways and byways, preaching this gospel, you're going to apply it, in the times of Jacob's trouble, right? And then verse 22 says, at destruction and famine, right? At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So the Lord is going to build up your confidence, to an extremely high level. That most I want you to be communicating with animals. That's gonna be a huge shocker for these carnally minded people. All right, and then you'd be surprised, man. You heal the sick. You're able to do all types of miraculous things. In the name of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai. It's gonna be a huge plus. And the bird's gonna be famous. Folks will be looking for you. Not just folks that are sick, but women that need protection. Even the elderly too. They'll be looking for blessings of protection. those of our nation. All right. And then, just to wrap it up, just go to the book of Revelation, chapter 19, and then you read verse 11. So it says, "And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse." And that's the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai. His his return. All right, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Okay, so this is the remedy for 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7 and 8 and 9. Yeah, so the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, is coming with judgment. He has to shut down all this iniquity that's running rampant upon the face of the earth. It says, "Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way." So the Lord will send his son, Hamashiach Yahushai, to take Esau, to bring down the empire of Edom, and its so-called allies and cohorts, or I say it, nations they have business dealings with. So it doesn't matter if they are friendly terms or hostile terms, they all going down. So the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai is about to shake the heavens. All right, and this is what it says in verse 8: "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming." All right, so that's what we are expecting to see. Once the Lord has gotten the green light to invade the realm of Edom. That's a wrap. All right. So you just always got to be grateful and be prepared. For the return of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua. And verse 12 says, "His eyes were as a flame of fire." So it's coming for judgment, to make war. So when you go into war, your eyes not just like you're smiling and giggling. You're serious. You're in that sober mindset. You're focused on the mission. You know what you need to do. You're organized. All right. So, and your vengeance. Ooh, boy, the vengeance of the Lord. That's what that flame of fire represents. And on his head were many crowns. So the Lord is going to have a complete victory over the dominions on the earth. And he had a name written that no man knew but himself. Yeah, so it's going to be beautiful. And then verse 13 says, "And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God." Oh boy. Hadabar Shal Yahweh. You say Hadabar Mayan Yahweh. Yeah, that's the title of the Lord Yahweh Shai. Just like when you read from the book of John. The book of John. Let's see the first chapter. Tells you that, man. So the Lord is gonna bring things to fruition. He's bringing peace. By way of war. All right. So he has to wage war to bring peace upon the earth. All right. So that's the point that I can brought us out. The Lord Hamashak Shai continue to guide us and protect us, from this rulership of iniquity running roughshod all over the whole earth. All right. Shalom.